Hi guys, so we're back to chat about Love is Blind Sweden. We're on episode 2. I went online to look for some other photos of the cast, but there were just too many spoilers, so I'm going to stick with just what's been on the trailer for now, just to be able to have honest and unbiased feedback based on what I'm seeing on the show. So in this episode, it starts out with Rasmus meeting Krisse-ly. And of course, we know that they were super, super excited. The doors open and they went running. It was so, so cute. There's such a big smile on Rasmus's face. Krisse-ly, and she has a cute dimple. She's so cute. He was just so ecstatic. He tells her how pretty she is. He just cannot believe it. So there's lots of chemistry here. It's very, very cute. They're very excited. And Rasmus seems to be in love with her. He's very happy with how she looks. She's excited. And so it was really, really cute scene between the two of them. This week, the couples are giving each other little gifts. So in the first segment with Katja, we see where she meets up with Kristoffer. And in her confessional, she says that she likes him. She can't wait to meet him. And so when he comes into the pods, he calls her the joy and eternal longing of his heart. Like, okay. So I don't recall what the gift was from Katja. Did he get a gift? I remember seeing like a little gift bag on the floor, but I don't remember him saying or referencing a gift from her. But anyway, Kristoffer's gift to her was a fan. And so she looked utterly confused, and so was I. So he mentioned that he has a scarf in the same pattern as well. And I thought maybe the fan was something to do with something specific to her or something related to them, maybe an inside joke or something like that. And if that was the case, it would have been cute, but she seemed confused by it. And there was no clarity from him as to why he gave her that. But anyway, Kristoffer said that he was wearing the scarf around his neck. And at one point in their date, he said that he told her that he may put it on his head. Seemed like he was trying to make a joke, but I was confused. So anyway, when she went back to the lounge, she was telling the girls about her gift, or maybe they asked or whatever, they were talking about it. And she was like, yeah, telling them about the fan and the fact that he had a scarf in the same pattern and what he said. And she was just like, yeah, that's Kristoffer. I like him. But she just seemed not too impressed or maybe slightly embarrassed by what he did. I don't know. It wasn't doing him any favors, I can tell you that. She claims that she's interested in him, but I don't know. It just seems so awkward after that one meeting. Like, is this man, what is up? He seems cool, but what is this gift about? What's the point of all this? So anyway, next time that they meet, he makes a sweet proposal to her and she tears up. He tells her that she's the joy and eternal longing of his heart again. And I was like, dude, please find something else to say because now it's coming off cheesy and it's losing meaning. I don't know why he couldn't say something a little bit more meaningful, something about them or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, she seemed genuinely happy by the proposal. She accepted. And she says that he's the person that she needs in her life and that she can't wait to meet him. But I don't know. Is this what you say when somebody proposed to you, that you need them in your life? She didn't say that she's so in love with, although, I mean, a lot of the people are saying they're in love, which we know it's not. But, you know how it is with being in the pods. You have these strong feelings like, okay, this is the person, and you could picture a life with them and all that, and you're excited about that. I didn't get that much excitement as with, Rasmus and Krisse-ly. But anyway, so it's time for them to meet after the engagement. She came out laughing, and she didn't kiss him unlike, Krisse-ly or, I think Emilia, when her segment came, But I thought it curious that she didn't kiss him when she walked up like the other people. So anyway, he got down on one knee. He was like, "Oh wait, let me go down on my good knee." It's like, "Oh boy, this is a grandpa." I don't know. Maybe she got turned off by that. I don't know. But anyway, she accepted the proposal now that he was in person, and she gave him a kiss on the lips, but it was kind of passionless to me. It's like a PG kiss. So then they sat down on the bench, and she was looking at him, looking like she's trying to solve a puzzle or something. I didn't see a whole lot. I didn't see lust or, the typical what you would see. I don't know, she seemed a little bit disappointed to me when I was looking at them on the bench. And then you see where he was talking to her, telling her how beautiful she is. And he was caressing her knee, and she's just sitting there. She didn't touch him at all. And she said that she was surprised at how he looked. Like she says that she liked more sporty guys, and he was more rockish kind of, probably because he had his little man bun. So yeah, what I was thinking earlier and seeing them when they first came out and with all that, it seemed like she's not quite sold on him. So then he asked if he can give her a kiss, and it was kind of like a little platonic kiss. She did mention in the confessional about his clothes, how he had pearl or something on his clothes, and how he's a little bit different from what she had in her head. But she says, well, clothing is a small detail. It's what's in the heart that's most important. But I wonder if she's just trying to convince herself of this. But after she accepted the engagement ring and after they got done with her meeting or whatever, she said that she expected to feel more, and she thinks that feelings may grow because she does really like him. I don't know. I mean, it does work in a similar fashion with arranged marriages, so it's possible that things could grow over time. But in these type of reality shows, it tends to not work out if there's not passion upon the initial meeting. So I don't know. And she didn't really like what she saw, so she shouldn't have accepted the ring. And maybe she just wants to buy time to figure out her feelings or whatever. But I hope she doesn't string him on too long if she's feeling like doubts and not sure if she wants to be with him, or if she doesn't really like a lot of significant things about him, that she just turn it back in and just say, you know what? Yeah, this is not going to work. But let me know what you thought about this scene, or the happenings that's going on between Katya and Kristoffer. Now, Lucas says he feels chemistry with Emilia, and that he feels like there's something there with her, but also feels like there's something with Karolina as well. So today we'll determine which way he goes. So, they're giving gifts today. And so in his date with Emilia, he gave her a necklace, which he said that he won from sailing. And she's going on and on about how nice it is. And I believe she mentioned later when she went back into the lounge that it was the pendant was that of a compass. She wrote him a letter promising a spa and hotel night, and if they leave there together, and tells him that her love languages, I guess, because she named 2, quality time and physical touch. So to hold on to his horses, I guess she's alluding to less of action. He says he likes it and he likes the idea. We see where back in the lounge, Karolina is nervous because Lucas is on his date with Emilia. Later, we see Emilia coming out, saying how she loves him and talking about the gift. And so you can see how Karolina is kind of, feeling a little awkward because this is somebody that she likes as well. And now she's coming out with a gift. And so she decides it's time to go big or go home because that's the only person that she likes. So next we see where... later, we see where they have their date, and so she has a gift for him, and then also there's a letter. So It's in like a little gift bag, and so when he picks it up, he sniffs the bag before opening, and he's like, "Oh, is this your perfume? It smells really nice. Is it your perfume?" But nope. When he opens the bag, first he brought out the letter, and then he reaches back into the bag, and it was a barely there pair of thongs. I was like, dang. Woo! Talk about going all out. This girl is brave. But anyway, he was grinning from ear to ear, and he seemed to enjoy the gift. So he reads the letter, and she tells him that she's never felt this way before. He's the one of the few people who understands her, which I don't know. I don't know where that's coming from unless we missed some of the conversation. And she said that he is the first guy that she thought of marrying and having kids with, and that he's been her number one since day one. He says the letter is really sweet, but then he had to break it to her that he had a connection with somebody else, and she knew it was Emilia. But he says that they've gone much further than those two have been, and basically that he wants to pursue that. He says he likes her, and they do have some kind of connection there, but is stronger with Emilia. So after he says that, she got emotional. She was crying, and she was saying how he seemed like he was distant with her. And she says, and he says the same as well, but that's probably because he was distracted because of, the interest that he was having in Emilia. And he had the nerve, after telling her that he has a bit greater connection with somebody else, he asked her if she wants him to accept the gift. I'm like, what? Are you crazy? You just said you wanted to be with somebody else, but why would you want to accept her thong? I thought that was really strange. Like, what? Who does this? So anyway, after he goes back to the lounge, we see where he was wiping his eye with a towel or something. He says he didn't want to hurt her, and he felt bad about that. But I wonder if he felt bad about that, or maybe he was worried about whether maybe he had made the wrong decision, because he sure was happy with that gift that he got from Karolina. So I wonder what the tears was about. What really were the tears about? But later on, when Karolina came out, she was ticked. They were all, hey, when they come out and the girls are like, hey, what happened? She's like, I don't want to talk about it. And she stormed out. But later she came back, and everybody knew that it wasn't gonna, she didn't have anyone. So she had to leave. And we see where Emilia was like, yeah, I don't think I'm the one to, comfort her. But later on, she did go over, and they hugged, and Karolina wished her good luck and everything. So that ended well. That was very mature of her. So later on, we see where Lucas says everything is simple with Emilia, and how great of a person she is on the inside, and says it's real love. I don't know. I just don't know. He says all the right things, and I don't know if he wants something simple and steady, or if he wants more fire like Karolina. The reaction after breaking up with Karolina, I don't know. I'm still concerned about that. She tells him how comfortable she is with him, and he tells her how he feels safe with her ever since the first date, and that what they have is unique. He tells her that she has everything, and he's thinking of a future, celebrating holidays with each other's family. And so he proposes. He says she tells him how he makes her so happy, and he says he can't wait for them to meet. And they both got very emotional. So they had a really lovely meeting. So later on in the episode, we see where they meet. They finally get to see what each other look like. They come out, and of course, he reproposes, gets down on one knee and asks her to marry, and she accepts. And I don't know. I don't know if it's because I've seen Krisse-ly and Rasmus, and there seems to be so much fire and passion between them. But this one is kind of lukewarm. Yes, they did kiss and all that, but I don't know. Let me know what you think about the interaction in person. Like, are you feeling it? Do you feel like they're really in love, so to speak? I guess as much as one can be in love in this type of situation. What do you feel about these two? So we see where Oscar likes Isabel and Mira, and Johan also likes Mira. He had mentioned that he liked somebody else, but I don't see where we saw who this other person is. So anyway, Oscar meets with Isabel and they laugh a lot. And Oscar said how they laughed for about 5 minutes about nothing at all, which is kind of weird. What were they laughing about? She says they have some of the same energy. And he says, I don't know. He doesn't know if it's going to work because they joke a lot, but there needs to be more in terms of a relationship as far as, a connection and everything else. So she says we have to talk about something else. We see them in the past. She says we have to talk about something else other than just laughing. And he says, but what? He's like, I'm done. It just seems, I don't know. There's no depth to the conversations. I don't know. They just joke around. So they have fun together. And he asked her if she's ready for marriage, and there was a pause before she answered. She was like, yes. So he was like, there's a pause there. She claims to have been reading something on the vase in her pod, and so that kind of distracted her. And I don't know that he bought that. He's probably feeling like maybe, there's some hesitation, and that was not really the truth that she was telling him. Anyway, so he says bye to her at the end of the conversation, and she says bye, but I don't know if I want to say that or something like that. I don't know if I want to wish you a good evening or something to that effect. So she was joking, and I don't know, and I don't know if this is edited, but she's just coming off a bit ditzy. Surely they had to have talked about something else other than just about how they laugh and all that. But Oscar is looking for more than just, like they would say in the military, shits and giggles. So anyway, later we see where Oscar meets up with Mira, and he says in his confessional that he tends to develop feelings pretty quickly in the beginning and tend to drop everything else and go all out. So she tells him that, she's getting a little tickle in her tummy, and they joke about that. He's like, oh, well, that's a little improvement then, or something to that effect. She says that she's attracted to men who are driven and do their own thing. She wants a masculine man, but also who can show his emotions as well, to show that he really likes you. Doesn't have to really be PDA, but he should be able to proudly claim his woman. And so he agrees, and he also confessed that he dreamt about her last night, and he didn't say what the dream was about. I don't think she asked, but he did mention that. He says there's something about her that he's super curious about, and he wants to know more. He says he feels a connection with Mira, and it keeps getting stronger. So Oscar says that he can see building a life together with Mira, and he says it's kind of scary because they have never met. And he tells her that he could see proposing to her in the next few days, but he doesn't want to continue to see other people. He wants to do it in the right way, and he respects that she has her own process. And, she tells him that, she feels very strongly for him, and that this has happened since the beginning, their first date. And she feels the dynamic between them is very different from with other people. She's happy to hear that he's taking her seriously, and she chose her words kind of very carefully. She didn't say, she didn't ask him to not see other people. She didn't say that she was in love with him or anything like that. But she said she appreciated the validation, and she did tell him how she was feeling about him. So Oscar is very happy about that, and he is also understanding that she's seeing other people. So we see where Johan also goes on a date with Mira, and during one of the meetings, Johan had asked Oscar how the meeting went, and he says that he told him that things were getting better and how she opened up to him. And I'm not quite sure, if they know. It seems later on in the episode that they seem to know. He knows that Oscar is the other guy that Mira is seeing. But anyway, Johan feels it's kind of early to be able to demand that somebody else do anything. And he ended up having a date after Oscar had a date with Mira. She says she likes a man in tracksuit and asked if he had any. He said he had track shorts and track pants and all that. He claims that he does not tend to wear shirts for no reason. I guess he's alluding to the fact that he likes to go shirtless and maybe hinting that he has a nice body. So she says that based on the description of what you've said, you seem to be, in good shape, but do you have big hands? And so he says yes, and she asks if he's good at massages. No, she asks if he has big hands because she likes massages or whatever. And he says that he likes to give them, but if she wants scratching, that he can't help her. I kind of got a little chuckle about that. That was kind of cute. And then he tells her that he did wear false nails once, but it was for a photo shoot. And then he goes on to tell her that he did some modeling in the past. And she asked if he likes being photographed, and he says yes, but that also he likes taking photos. He might ask her to pose so he could take some snaps. And so she really liked that about him as far as the taking photos, because she says she always wanted a man who didn't mind taking photos of her. And so Mira feels like he's opening up to her. She's happy that she's been able to make good connections in the pods with different people, but she's worried about, making the right decisions. So both Oscar and Johan have multiple dates with Mira. So the next time that Johan meets up with Mira again, she tells him that he is the first person that she felt like she wants to climb through the wall to be with, which I was like, why did she say that? I don't get that from her in her interaction with him. Johan said he's very happy to hear that, and she tells him how she likes him a lot. She says that there's been a very positive uphill climb with him, but he seemed a little bit disappointed, but perhaps that's because of what Oscar had been saying coming back from his meeting. It seems like he wanted to hear more, but he goes on to say after that he's getting the feeling that there's probably more going on with Oscar and Mira, and it seems like he feels in competition with Oscar because he had made a comment about forcing somebody to not being able to see other people. And I think that was in reference to Oscar taking himself off the market to basically validate Mira or to put himself in a position with Mira. So, yeah, these two are battling it out, I think. So later on in the episode, we see where Oscar meets up with Mira again. And he says that, before he meets up with Mira again, he meets up with Isabel, and he basically told her that they're kind of like bros, and basically he broke up with her, or he decided to stop seeing her because there really wasn't much between them, no depth at all. So although Mira is still seeing other people, he has, high hopes for her. This is the person that he feels like he's most interested in. So then after the breakup with Isabel, we see where Oscar meets Mira, and when he meets up with her, she has a gift in her pod, and the gift was his school ring, and he's promising her that he will give her an engagement ring, which this I didn't really understand because everybody else who came had an engagement ring ready. So I don't understand why he didn't have one too. So in the lounge, he tells the guys what's happened. And also he says that he's ready to get down on one knee and that he's going to choose a ring while Johan looks on. So I wonder, it makes me wonder if he's doing all this just to win. Is he really interested in Mira? Or is he just doing all this to basically one up Johan? Because it just seems like he's just over the top with it a little bit and they're in competition. So I don't know. I really hope this is not a game that he's playing. So after Mira gets the ring from Oscar, she meets up with Johan again, and he tells her that about what he heard from Oscar about, them deciding that it's going to be just the two of them. She didn't really agree. She kind of said that, there's things that are decided and things that are undecided, something to that effect. She says that she tells him that she has validated him, and she understands that he's not quick to decisions like some of the other guys. She understands that he might not be there yet, and he says that he didn't want to say anything that's not honest. He didn't want to say anything that's not true, and she says, of course not. I want you to be honest. I don't want you to lie. And he tells her that if there's anyone that he could marry right now, it would be her. And he also mentions that there's somebody else that, he's not too confident about, and that, depending on how the conversation goes with her, that he will more than likely end it. So Mira is in a difficult situation with two guys wanting her, and when she's in the lounge, she tells the girls of the struggle. One minute she feels like she's 60-40 with Oscar. The next minute she's leading towards Johan. So she seems a little bit conflicted, which I don't know why she is, because she accepted that ring from Oscar. So does that mean there's still hope for Johan? Because it doesn't seem like she's completely decided on Oscar. So I don't know. She didn't turn the ring down. So I don't know if she accepted it just to be able to have time to sort out her feelings and decide who exactly she wants or what the deal is. Now, I didn't like the fact that Johan brought up somebody else that he was prepared to dump depending on what Mira said. Not only is that not cool, but if he really was certain about her like he's claiming, then he would go all out. He would focus on her solely, regardless of what Oscar does or regardless of, whatever else. He would lay it on the line for her if that was the case. So, it's not fair to the other girl either to be second best that he's going to now show interest in because Mira might not be interested in him. So I don't know, there seems to be competition going on between Johan and Oscar, and I hope that, and it seems like she is, I hope that Mira will take her time and sort it out and ask questions, get clarification, just to get to the bottom of who's really genuine. And so we'll see what happens next in this love quadrangle that's going on here. Sergio and Amanda meet up, and of course they're exchanging gifts as well. She gave him a single-use camera, and he was looking at it kind of confused. I don't know if this was explained, and we were not shown what this was about because I didn't understand the use of a single-use camera either. Is she trying to say, I'm the one now, there won't be any other after me? I don't know. I didn't get it either. So Amanda also confronts Sergio about him telling her that he wasn't seeing anyone else. And she says, maybe there's a miscommunication, or did you tell me that you weren't seeing anyone else? And of course, he played dumb, was like, huh? What? I don't understand, until he claims that there was a miscommunication, but he definitely lied. So I feel like she should have gone with her original gut feeling and passed on this guy. Because he lied before that he wasn't seeing anybody else. And then now he's lying about telling her that he wasn't seeing anybody else. So anyway, he gave her a flag bracelet, and he says it's a bracelet that he wears all the time. And it was kind of funny because Amanda put it on, but of course it's too big for her wrist, so she has to adjust it. But then she couldn't figure out how to get it smaller to fit her wrist, so that was kind of funny. She's like, I don't know. So anyway, she goes on to tell him that she has scoliosis, and it's where the spine is not really straight, so they can either have a surgery or wear a corset, which she said she did growing up, and so she got bullied a lot in elementary school. And so Sergio was saying how, if it were him, he would be filled with anger, but she seemed to have embraced, the experiences and making it a part of her story. and that, he feels like she has a good heart, basically. So he asked her to be his girlfriend, and then he got back to the lounge and he was freaking out, saying how shallow he is. And the other guys are like, what the hell? So I think he mentioned the scoliosis or maybe being bullied or something like that. And I guess he's worried about her not being attractive enough because she had a medical condition, and she mentioned the spine. So I don't know if he's picturing hunchback or what. One of the guys were like, think about it. She's probably better than looking than you, so it's a win for you either way. And one guy was like, okay, so she opened up to you. It's not right for you to now try to judge her over that. And I guess he's feeling kind of turned off because she was being bullied. And one guy mentioned, like, so if your children were being bullied, would your feelings change about them just because they're being bullied? And he was like, he understands that how he's feeling is kind of crappy, but this is how he's feeling and he's trying to sort it out. He understands that how he's thinking is not acceptable. But the guys encouraged him to, bring his concerns to her and talk to her about how he was feeling. So Kristoffer said he felt like it was unfair for him to have those thoughts and making decisions just because somebody opened up to you and may have some issues in their past. Granted, it's something that she has no control over, that now he's thinking of, like, maybe this person might not be good enough. So Sergio says that if he feels the same way tomorrow, that he's going to break up with her. And I was like, dang, I wonder how she's going to feel about this when she finally sees this on the TV screen, that he wanted to break up with her because she says she has scoliosis. He wasn't kidding when he said he was shallow. And it's crazy how, in these dating shows that, some of the guys can be so shallow when they're not like, God's gift to women to begin with, but they have these high expectations. I just thought it was funny that he's so shallow considering he's not the best looking guy there either. So anyway, he goes on to say in the confessional that how awesome she was, and that she sees the good in other people, and he likes that about her, but he seems equally as stressed about her look as well, even though he's saying how good of a person that she is. So in the next meeting with Amanda, Sergio mentions how he was getting cold feet the day before, but he didn't quite tell the whole story, which is another thing that I don't like about this guy. It's always deception with him. He mentions the cold feet, but he didn't explain exactly what it was about. He said he was having feelings, and his way of protecting himself was to find fault, and that he was thinking that it wouldn't work out. And this is what he said. He didn't mention specifically what his concerns were about. But anyway, Amanda, she's a really nice girl, and she says it's good that you're sharing, negative feelings, because I would rather you tell me than having it bottled up. And she asked if this was a problem in previous relationships, as in him not sharing his feelings, and he says yes. And so she said that it's brave of him to be able to share that with her and be honest, and that it helps her understand him better. And really, I'm feeling bad for Amanda, because this guy, I just don't have a good feeling about him. Sergio tells her that she felt later on in their next date how he felt for her from day one. And he tells her that he wants to promise her something. He wants to do everything that he can to make her feel like a queen, and there's nothing about her that can scare him away. And that he wants to be her king, and he wants her to be his queen. And so he ended up proposing to her, and she accepts. And she asked if he was nervous about meeting her, and he says he was more nervous that she will see him and think he's Shrek. So it's funny that the shallow person now is trying to backtrack and try to self-deprecate when it comes down to it. But he says that he's a shallow person and felt like the experiment may have been necessary for him to overcome his shallowness, but I doubt that. I think it'll take more than an experiment for you to get over being shallow, because that's what he places value in. And I don't know that this experiment is going to just take that away from him. But anyway, we'll see where next week that he will meet Amanda in person. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the episode. Let me know your thoughts on these engagements that have happened. Let me know your thoughts on this Sergio guy as well.